What is going on, everybody? And it is an interesting day in the tech world, but also the AI world. And if you live under a rock, I want to let you know that today's been the largest drop since September of 2022, I believe. And that is largely due to this company that no one pretty much heard of until last year called DeepSeek AI. And they're basically coming to dethrone ChatGPT and NVIDIA. And it sent the market spiraling today because they basically release the fact that they're going to do everything AI much cheaper and better than the states can do. And that sent the futures market into a tailspin. So, what you're noticing here on the left side is the daily chart for the NASDAQ futures, which is very tech weighted. And as you know, NVIDIA pretty much carries the entire market. So, NVIDIA was down roughly 12% this morning. And then this candle right here has been the price action for the day, looking to close pretty red, and it basically wiped out the last 4 days of trading within, basically the first 4 hours of the market. So it's been an interesting day, but the reason for this video is because I actually believe that this is going to start the retracement of NASDAQ, but also kind of pop the AI bubble. And you see these three subsequent screenshots here that I found from the Short Bear, which is just a popular publication online for market research and information and their narrative on everything. And I wanted to share this with you because I think it's useful and draws a unique comparison to the company Cisco that experienced something very similar that NVIDIA did. So I'm going to read from this, and then I'm going to go to a CNN news article as well, just to kind of recap some of this. But it starts with stating that the AI bubble has popped. And it said if the DeepSeek results are truly real, NVIDIA could find itself in a situation eerily similar to what Cisco faced after the dot-com bubble burst of the 2000s. During that bubble, Cisco was a dominant supplier of networking equipment, riding a wave of massive demand as startups and tech companies scrambled to build internet infrastructure. So we already see this with NVIDIA with what they're doing with their GPU chips and everything associated with that. And then it goes on to say that when the bubble burst, many of these companies went bankrupt and the market was flooded with secondhand Cisco equipment. So the demand for new hardware evaporated, and then Cisco's meteoric growth stalled for years. So is that something we are starting to see here with NVIDIA? But in NVIDIA's case, the booming AI industry has created a gold rush for GPUs, with startups and tech giants investing billions into the software. And I believe Sam Altman and NVIDIA and Mark Zuckerberg said that they're trying to raise 65 billion for this AI infrastructure or whatever the case is. And DeepSeek pretty much came out and said, hey, we did all of that on 1.3 million. Now, mind you, DeepSeek is a Chinese company, so of course they're going to be doing things much cheaper, but does that correlate to what the quality of the product is going to be and result in DeepSeek's meteoric growth to dethrone NVIDIA? Or is this just a flash in the pan? Everyone continues to buy lower on NVIDIA before it goes back up. Anyways, getting back to this article, it says many AI startups flush with venture capital have purchased thousands of NVIDIA GPUs to train models and operate their business. So if DeepSeek disrupts the need for such software or leads to widespread failures in these startups, the secondhand flood of NVIDIA GPUs could hit the market, mimicking the post-bubble AI startups that could start to fluctuate on these things again and just make the price for Nvidia drop lower. So that's a very similar thing to what Cisco went through, anyways. So what are the impacts on DeepSeek and Nvidia together, right? What is DeepSeek going to do to Nvidia? And there's about 1, 2, 3 bullet points here, and then we'll see how that parallels. But the first bullet point reads that bankrupt startups flooding the market. And as AI startups large with NVIDIA GPU inventories collapse, forcing them to liquidate their hardware, which would of course drive down the value of GPUs. There's just simple economics there. The second bullet point reads that startups operating data centers renting NVIDIA GPUs may be unable to generate sufficient returns on their investments, further saturating the market with unused GPUs. And then the slowdown of the Magnificent Seven. I think this is the most interesting point because major tech companies who have driven much of NVIDIA's growth may slow or even halt GPU purchases, with thousands of existing GPUs already underutilized sitting idle in warehouses. So there's a potential chain reaction here that could create a storm for NVIDIA, similar to how Cisco's core business unraveled. So we've been talking about Cisco. What does that mean? How is that paralleled with what happened or what is happening now with NVIDIA? And it was overproduction and oversupply, which we just went through on these bullet points. The second impact is the dependence on startups, and Cisco relied heavily on dot-com companies. NVIDIA is tied to the success of AI startups, which are inherently high risk. Market flooding again, for Cisco, bankrupt companies flooded the market with secondhand equipment, and for NVIDIA, the similar flood of GPUs could bring down the price and that demand for new hardware. And then you have growth stagnation, with Cisco's dominance was followed by years of slow growth due to declining orders. So we've seen nothing but a meteoric rise for NVIDIA over the past few years. And I wonder if I can pull that up. So we'll look at the daily candle, and you already have this massive drop within the daily candle. So let's look at the 4 hour, very much of the same. And then the 1 hour is starting to come back a little bit, but we have retraced quite a bit since their stock split, right? Coming off the highs of 152, we're already down to 120, kind of coming back. We bottomed out around 117. So the tech companies are taking a hit today. Is this going to be a rebound or a continuation? We'll see. Obviously, we have this monstrous gap to fill here, so we will see somewhat of a retracement, but this could be the balancing of the market itself. So this was the article that I wanted to share with you guys, and it states, what is the DeepSeek Chinese AI startup that shook the tech world, right? Because a lot of people have not heard of this company largely until today, right? So the company said it spent 5.6 million powering its base AI model, compared with the hundreds of millions, if not billions, that AI companies have already started. So this is nothing new coming out of China, where they do something much cheaper, more efficiently, whatever the case is. But why is DeepSeek such a big deal? Is that essentially Meta said last week they're going to spend an upward of 65 billion on AI development. Sam Altman said the same thing, trillions of dollars possibly. So the notion that similar capabilities as America's most powerful AI models can be achieved with a small fraction of the cost and on less capable chips represents a sea change in the industry's understanding of how much investment is needed in AI. So this is going to be the buzzword going forward, no doubt. It's what we're going to see going forward with the main focus for the market as a whole. I think no one even cares about other companies anymore. It's strictly going to be focused on AI. But are we really sure it's a big deal? And this is the big question, because a lot of it is speculation. But the DeepSeek model rollout is leading investors to question the lead that the US companies have and how much is being spent, and whether that spending will lead to profits. So we're going to see as this goes forward how this rebalances the market. I personally believe we're going to see a rebound within these tech companies. I think this is a flash in the pan moment, some little market volatility to make everybody happy, spice things up, grab some headlines. But the real devil in the details is going to be if we hear DeepSeek's name as we get towards the end of Q2, Q3, and Q4, right? Can they be a going concern through the rest of the year? They're a very young company. NVIDIA is very seasoned. There's a lot of other AI companies that are banding together, right, with this infrastructure bill that Trump's laid out. So there's a lot of speculation here, but nonetheless, guys, we have a very interesting year ahead of us in the AI world. And to see what's going on in the NASDAQ today is pretty crazy. This has been quite the sell-off, but I think we're going to see somewhat of a rebound here, and it's going to be a good finish to the week. So, guys, I appreciate you sticking around for this video. Wanted to share this information with you. But as always, if you have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them down below. And then, of course, if you could subscribe, that would be a massive help as well. So I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks.